Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my starting 11 prediction for our game against Villarreal in the Europa League final. In goal, I'm going to go with David De Gea. Solskjaer has already confirmed that De Gea will be in goal for the final. De Gea is obviously our second choice goalkeeper. He could stay at Manchester United, potentially past the summer, but don't think he's got a long-term future from now. He's been a long servant at the club. He's endured 10 years with Manchester United. There again, De Gea could leave in the summer transfer window. Because earlier on this year, it said that De Gea had made his transfer decision. He said he's preparing to leave Manchester United, and he said Man United were set to pay off his huge contract. De Gea has like 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. I reckon we'll get around 50 million if we sell De Gea in the summer transfer window. I can assure that we'll get a lot more than what we paid for him. There has been a few clubs interested in him. He said not so long ago that Jose Mourinho wanted De Gea at Roma for next season. De Gea's had around 8 good years at Manchester United out of the 10 years he's been here. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. He's won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances in all competitions. But in the last couple of years, he has been a liability because he has made calamitous mistakes. Obviously, De Gea wasn't in goal for the game against Wolves recently. It was Dean Henderson. At right back, I'm going to go with Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka obviously played no part against Wolves. Wan-Bissaka has now endured 2 full seasons at Manchester United, and I think he's really improving. In recent games, Wan-Bissaka's been showing a lot of attacking intent. He's been getting into some good positions. He's been putting good crosses into the box. And defensively, he's always been superb. Wan-Bissaka is one of the best right-backs we've had since Gary Neville. And I'm convinced he can emulate into the next Gary Neville. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. So yeah, him at right back. The 2 centre-halves, I'm going to go with Axel Tuanzebe and Victor Lindelof. Tuanzebe did play recently against Wolves. He put a very good performance out. Everything Wolves had to offer, he blocked. A lot of United fans obviously want Tuanzebe to play in the final. One of the best games I recall Tuanzebe having was PSG. He was immense in that game. He doesn't really play a lot Tuanzebe, but I think he should be given more opportunities. I thought also against Wolves, he read his game well and he was well composed. Victor Lindelof, obviously he played no part against Wolves. Obviously it was Bailly alongside Tuanzebe against Wolves. As you all know, I do have my strong reservations about Victor Lindelof. Analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he has been inconsistent, but there's been some games where he showed consistency. I think Lindelof will stay with us potentially past the summer, but I can assure he hasn't got a long-term future at Man United. He has been at the club now for quite a few years. We got Lindelof in a deal worth 31 million from Benfica back in 2017. So yeah, them the two centre-halves. At left-back, I'm going to go with Luke Shaw. Obviously, Luke Shaw didn't play any part against Wolves. Luke Shaw has been our best player throughout the course of the season. You know, in a lot of Luke Shaw's games, he showed very good attacking intent. He's got into good positions. His crossing's been good. He's created good chances for his teammates. He's provided width. And defensively, he's been superb. Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back, despite the arrival of Alex Telles last summer. Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He's been at the club now for around 7 years. I think recently though, Luke Shaw has been a bit off the pace. He hasn't been playing to his usual standards. I think Luke Shaw has just over 2 years left on his current contract. There was rumours coming out earlier on this year saying that Man United were set to offer Luke Shaw a new 5-year contract worth around £180,000 a week. So he'd be given a £30,000 pay rise. So yeah, him at left back. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Paul Pogba and Fred. Obviously, Paul Pogba played no part against Wolves. We have been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months. You know, Pogba does bring creativity to the team. Don't forget at one point, Pogba was out with a thigh injury and he was out for a while. At one point he was out with an ankle injury and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Pogba could leave Man United in the summer transfer window, but I hope he stays, potentially past the summer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said not so long ago that he wants Paul Pogba to stay and he hopes Paul Pogba signs a new contract. And it said our players would be devastated if the club decided to sell him. Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother. He wants Paul Pogba to join Barcelona. He said the other week that Pogba could leave Man United for just 55 million in the summer transfer window. Quite a few weeks ago, he said Man United will offer Paul Pogba a new deal worth around £400,000 a week. It said he was demanding £500,000 a week. His agent Mino Raiola is demanding in the excess of £400,000 a week if his client is to remain at Man United. But he said we will sell Paul Pogba in the summer if he doesn't sign a new contract. Paul Pogba's current contract expires next year. Because obviously earlier on in the season, Man United extended his contract. Triggered that 1 year extension on his contract. But he has had a long running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him, and his former club Juventus have been in for him, and swap deals were high on the agenda. Obviously, Villarreal has been desperate to get his client. No, soon. Villarreal has been desperate to get his client out of the football club. He said quite a few weeks ago, Villarreal, that Paul Pogba wants to win trophies at Man United or at another top European club. He said Paul Pogba's future is in doubt, and don't forget he did mention a Eden Hazard and Paul Pogba swap deal. Don't forget he did say as well he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy, and he also criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. Villarreal made an announcement back in December last year regarding Paul Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Villarreal's announcement. But yeah, Paul Pogba has now enjoyed 5 full seasons at the club since he rejoined from Juventus. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. Fred, obviously, he didn't play any part against Wolves. He's recently been out with a knock. I think Fred will stay at Manchester United potentially past the summer, but he hasn't got a long-term future with us. You know, I don't think Fred is good enough to emulate that level where we want him to be at. He's enjoyed some good games at Man United, but he's also enjoyed a lot of bad games. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth £52 million. But I think he'll select him in this game. Ahead of Paul Pogba and Fred, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandez. Obviously, Bruno Fernandez didn't play any part against Wolves. It recently said that Bruno Fernandez is set to sign a new contract at Manchester United. It says Bruno Fernandez is close to agreeing a new £200,000 a week contract, because Bruno Fernandez admitted that he's happy with the progress by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team. So obviously we are going to double his wages, because at the moment he's on £100,000 a week. He's got 4 years left on his current contract. Fernandez is under contract with Man United until 2025. There is also an option of a further 12 months. Not so long ago, Bruno Fernandez won Player of the Year. He's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Fernandez has been at Manchester United now over a year. In a lot of his games, he's been very, very consistent, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Let's be honest, we have overplayed Bruno Fernandez, but Fernandez came out at one point and denied that he needed a rest, because obviously he wants to help the club win trophies. You know, Fernandez is our best player, and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson. We initially paid £47 million for him, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. At one point, Fernandez was refusing to sign a new contract until he had assurances over the club's transfer plans, and he actually said he wanted Pogba to commit his future to the club before he signs a new deal. So yeah, Bruno Fernandez in the number 10. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Marcus Rashford played no part against Wolves. Analysing Rashford's season, I think he's done well in some games, but he's also enjoyed poor games as well. He has become injury prone at Manchester United as Rashford, because he has now sustained quite a few injuries. We need to keep Marcus Rashford out on that left-hand side because that's where he's more effective. I'm not keen on him on the right, and we've played him on the right a few times, and I'm not keen on him playing centrally. Rashford's got a long-term future at the club, I'd say, but recently there was rumours of Marcus Rashford possibly leaving the club. Rashford has been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. So yeah, him on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Mason Greenwood. Greenwood is absolutely superb. He's done well in a lot of his games as Mason Greenwood since he broke into our senior squad. He made his senior debut in 2019. And he's been a United player since the age of 7. So he's been part of the club for a long time. And earlier on this year, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract with Man United. He deserved a new contract reflecting on his good performances. Don't forget, at one point, Greenwood was in and out of the team. But Ollie obviously has been defending him a lot. There was a period where Greenwood didn't score for a while. But he's still young, he's got a lot of development in him. Whether you play Greenwood on the right-hand side or whether you play him centrally, we seem to get the best out of him most of the time. So yeah, him on the right-hand side. And up top, I'm going to go with Edison Cavani. Obviously, Cavani played no part against Wolves. Obviously, we know that Cavani is staying for next season. I presume a lot of United fans are happy with him staying next season because not so long ago, Edison Cavani signed a 1-year contract with Man United. Romano confirmed that. Cavani, though, has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. Scored a very, very good goal against Fulham not so long ago. He was 40 yards out. Cavani will leave probably at the end of next season. So that's how I think Manchester United could line up against Villarreal. Now, Man United have named a 26-man squad for the final. By the way, Harry Maguire has been named in the travelling squad for the final. Harry Maguire is obviously a doubt for the final because Solskjaer did a special press conference not so long ago and he said things weren't looking great with Maguire. He's obviously got ligament damage in his ankle. Maguire sustained the ankle injury in our 3-1 win against Aston Villa. So I presume Maguire will be having another test, to prove his fitness. I'll be very, very surprised if Harry Maguire actually plays in the game. Anthony Martial remains out. Ollie's also confirmed that Martial's been out with a knee injury for a while. And obviously Phil Jones, he's still out with injury. He's been out with injury for over a year, but he doesn't get in our 11 anyway. So there you go. But yeah, we're playing Villarreal in the final. It's Wednesday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. It's Gdansk, which is in Poland. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first major final as Manchester United manager, and it's our 8th European final. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to win his first trophy as Manchester United manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. You know, we win the Europa League, that'll obviously give us confidence, and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. We are coming into this game on the back of a 2-1 win against Wolves. Obviously, it was our final Premier League game of the season, and it was a good performance by Manchester United against Wolves. Obviously, Ole played a lot of the reserves. Obviously, Ole made the right decision by, playing a weakened squad, because obviously he's aware of the Europa League final. And the game against Wolves anyway was meaningless. It was good to see Elanga get his name on the score sheet. It was a superb header, and it was a good cross by Daniel James. He got the assist. It was Elanga's first goal for Man United, and it was his second Premier League start, and his movement was also very good. Juan Mata obviously got our second goal from the penalty spot. That was a great moment for Juan Mata. That could have been his final game at Manchester United, but Solskjaer did say not so long ago that no decision has yet been made on Juan Mata's future. Juan Mata's current contract expires soon, but there is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Juan Mata did lose his mother not so long ago. Wolves' goal obviously came from Nelson Semedo. I think Henderson was unfortunate with Wolves' goal. But I wouldn't have been bothered if we'd have drawn or lost against Wolves, because it wouldn't have changed the complexion of things anyway. Obviously, we secured second place in the league, and obviously we're in the Champions League next season. But it was still good to obviously finish the season with a win, because prior to the game against Wolves, we were winless in our last 3 league games. We've gone the entire season unbeaten away from home in the Premier League, which is a very, very good record. I'm expecting Man United to beat Villarreal in the final, but it will be a tough game. You know, Villarreal are not world beaters, but they are no pushovers. Villarreal, they recently lost 2-1 against Real Madrid. They finished 7th in La Liga. Villarreal's current manager is Unai Emery. I think he's been Villarreal manager for like a year now. He's managed quite a few clubs though, hasn't he, Unai Emery? Don't forget he managed Arsenal at one point. I think he was in charge of Arsenal for 18 months, and then obviously Arsenal sacked him. Managed PSG before. He's managed Sevilla before. He's also managed Valencia before. Managed Locre Deportivia before. And he's managed Almeria. Now, I do know a few of Villarreal's players. Obviously, they've got Gerard Moreno. They've got another Moreno as well of Villarreal. Obviously, they've got Pau Torres. He's a centre-half. Don't forget, Manchester United have been linked with Pau Torres. He said quite a few weeks ago that Man United were in advanced talks to sign Pau Torres, and it said want to complete a deal before the European Championship. Pau Torres has a release clause of around 43.4 million, but apparently his release clause increases to just over 56 million in the final 15 days of the transfer window. Summer transfer window, that is. But he's been a long-serving player at Villarreal. Came up their academy. He's got a contract with them until 2024. He did have a loan spell with Malaga. Do you think Pau Torres would go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line? Villarreal have also got Foyth. He's actually been out with injury. They've got that Chuck Wu Eze. He's also out with injury. They've got Carlos Bacca. He's one of their forwards. A few more of their players here. They've got obviously Gomez. He's one of their midfielders. Gasper. He's one of their defenders. Like I mentioned on the preview, quite a few of Villarreal's players' names are hard to pronounce. Obviously, they've got Alvarez. He's one of their goalkeepers. Nino, one of their forwards. Costa, one of their defenders. Alex Millian, he's one of their forwards. Lozano, he's one of their midfielders. Manuel, he's one of their defenders. So that is quite a lot of Villarreal's players. So yeah, hopefully Manchester United can win the Europa League. Obviously, when the Europa League final is finished, then we'll be focusing on the summer transfer window. The summer transfer window opens on the 9th of June. Even if we lose the Europa League final, I still think Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager, because I've already said that he does deserve at least another season, because he has made very, very good progress. Solskjaer has now endured 2 full seasons at Man United. Obviously, next season will be his 3rd full season. And Ole is aware that next season will be huge for him, because next season he's got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Man United manager. But I've got to give credit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. So in that aspect, I am shocked. You can say he has done well to say the squad he was left with when he got appointed in. But yeah, Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. The summer transfer window will be his 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Solskjaer must get the backing he deserves, because I don't think he's been backed enough so far as Man United manager, and in that aspect the blame stems from the board. So it's very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players that he wants to recommend in the summer transfer window. Can Man United challenge for the Premier League title next season? Well, it all depends on how we recruit in the summer transfer window. There's a lot of players that are on our agenda. Obviously, earlier on today, I spoke with you about Harry Kane. Obviously, I've been speaking with you a lot about Jadon Sancho. Obviously, there's been a lot of narratives coming out regarding Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Declan Rice from West Ham. Rafael Varane, he's leaving Real Madrid, and Man United also want him. Obviously, there's been narratives coming out today regarding Jules Koundé. Saying that Sevilla have set their asking price. They want £50 million for him. Solskjaer recently demanded 3 new transfers in order for Man United to challenge for the title next season. I'm expecting outgoings in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer did recently say there may not be many outgoings, maybe 2, 3 or 4 will just leave in the summer transfer window, but he's still deadwood at Man United. And obviously, the news regarding the Glazers. Obviously, we want to get the Glazers out. Basically doing everything we can to get the Glazers out because there's been a lot of protesting going on. Obviously, we've got Woodward out. He's standing down at the end of the year because earlier on this year it got announced that Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. Woodward's had a 16-year association with the club. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.